Hey guys, coming in for Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1, Episode 5, The Host. And I was definitely looking forward to this episode, especially after last week's episode with that really awesome cliffhanger. I didn't really know what was going to happen in this one. This was definitely, I think, the most Evil Dead-ish episode yet. You know, most of this episode, we had a lot of Deadites, we had a lot going on in this one. It was also the shortest episode, surprisingly. I was surprised by how short this episode was, but let's just get into it. There's quite a lot that happened this episode, and, the only thing about this episode is that you really do feel like it probably would have benefited a bit better if it was, an hour-long show rather than a half-hour long, because this definitely just felt like a continuation of last week's episode, just felt like the end of last week's episode. That really is what this felt like to me. But let's just get into this one. So we start off with Ash. She's all tied up and gagged, and Kelly, who is still possessed, she's making up this bullshit story that Ash is the one possessed by Elagass, this demon from the last couple of episodes, and, she's making it seem like it's true because she doesn't want them to know she's possessed, and Ash is trying to tell them that she's lying. Brujo says he's going to try to exorcise the demon either through magic or physically by cutting out part of his brain. And clearly Kelly has a big plan here. And when Brujo and Pablo walk out, Kelly's eyes go dark, and the demon says that his soul, the Ash's soul will be his, and that he's sorry. And we see Pablo walking outside. He goes in the trailer, complaining to himself, and then to Kelly, who's singing there about how Brujo is using him as a worthless assistant, and Kelly's trying to get his attention and tells him that he needs to calm down. She decides they need a drink, and instead finds Ash's pot stash, which she calls Ash Stash, and Kelly's acting really strange, but Pablo doesn't really see it in this episode. It probably has something to do, obviously, with the demonic possession. There's definitely something weird going on with her. Now, Ruby and Amanda only have one scene this episode, surprisingly, which I was a bit surprised about because we focused a lot on them last week, but here they only really get one scene, and I hope they're utilizing them well because I don't like the way they're handling this where we're only getting a couple scenes of them every episode. I mean, we're gonna get to that point eventually, right? We're gonna get to that point where they all meet up again, but right now, at least, I don't like the way they're really utilizing their characters. Ruby and Amanda, they're cruising around using Ash's demon hand to literally point the way to the man behind the hand, and Amanda wants explanations, and Ruby basically says that things don't need to make sense, and Ruby has this undercurrent of anger to everything she says as she seems to manipulate Amanda a bit too. Ruby's really determined, and what I like about this is that before it kind of seemed like Amanda was going to be the one in command here, but no, Ruby really is the leader, and Amanda's kind of like the sidekick that doesn't really know what's going on, because Ruby is more aware of this, and I definitely like that, and it's just made things a lot more interesting. Just the whole reveal of Ruby, like I said, I really loved it, and they made it even more interesting in this episode. So Pablo gets back to the trailer with a pipe for some smoking, and finds Kelly sitting on the couch, who, let me just say, hot as hell when she's possessed. I've never seen someone so possessed and so hot, and she's using Ash's shotgun as a pipe instead, already smoking. You know that there's some bigger plan she has here. She's high as hell, pretty much, and she's sitting spread eagle with her shirt falling off her shoulder, asking Pablo to join her. Pablo babbles a bit about wanting to get closer to Kelly, and saying that, he really likes her, and you can see that he's stumbling on his words because he's really into her and he really likes her, and she says that she's actually into the idea of being more than friends. You can tell right away this is definitely not Kelly, because Kelly's not interested in that. I'm pretty sure that Kelly's interested in just being with friends, and that's it. And Brio is trying to figure out what's going on with Ash, and other rituals are working because obviously he's not possessed, and I think it's so funny that Brujo is trying to help out Ash when he's not possessed, and Demon Kelly is continuing to try to seduce Pablo, and she says what's inside of her cannot wait to tear him up, and she says that if she does the shotgun pipe, you can kiss her anywhere. He kisses her forehead, and she's like, you don't want to kiss me anywhere else, and I thought that was pretty funny. Just the way he was acting around, you can tell this is a guy that really isn't hooked up with anyone before. He really doesn't know how to handle himself with women, and I think that's very funny. She gives him the shotgun pipe and has a cartridge hidden in her boots, and you can tell she's going to try to kill Pablo. That's what her main mission is here. She puts the cartridge in while distracting him. He says no again. She finally goes crazy and full demon, and Ash finally breaks his gag free, tells Brujo he's not the one possessed and that Kelly is. They run to find Demon Kelly attacking Pablo. They manage to restrain her, and Brujo tries rituals on Kelly, but they're not really working either. These rituals that he's doing, they're just not working. So Ash tries to taunt the demon out, and that also doesn't work. Nothing really seems to be working here. And Brujo starts pouring leeches into her mouth. She eats them, and that was also very reminiscent of Evil Dead. I mean, we remember some really gross things in Evil Dead. And she's throwing them up and right on Ash's boots, and she says her charms won't save him. And he puts a rag covered in holy water on her face, starts pouring more onto her. We seem to see Kelly again just for a second, and then she goes full demon once more, and the demon's saying, do it again, all of it. It's just toying with them. Very reminiscent of the first Evil Dead, and also The Exorcist. I got some Exorcist vibes from this episode, which I definitely like. I mean, we did get that in Evil Dead, but I definitely felt like this was more The Exorcist rather than Evil Dead, and I really like that. So the demon, he's then bashing Kelly's head against the board it's tied to, and Pablo begs Kelly to fight it. Saying that there's no Kelly anymore. And I like that Pablo was really the one helping out Kelly here because, he's the one that really cares about her. Just the fact that he's helping her out, I definitely really like. Brujo and Pablo leave the room. Pablo's blaming himself for what's happened. He really feels like this is his fault, and Brujo tells him that Ash has a life of Heffy somewhere deep inside of him, and somehow, he still found him. That, he was the one that found the Heffy in Ash, and Ash doesn't really understand it. And if Pablo wouldn't have done this, this is not his fault. I like that Brujo gave him this advice, and I thought that was really great. In the shed, Kelly seems to be back and tells Ash that this demon's never going to come out. You have to kill me. And I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna kill Kelly. I thought that this was actually gonna happen, that they were gonna go through with killing Kelly. Now, if they would have killed Kelly in this episode, I would have been really upset, because while I think she really has contributed a lot to the show, I do want to see her again, because I just think she fits very well with Ash and Pablo. I don't want to see her dead. I really like her character. So he puts the gun up to her face. She says, just a cross on my grave, okay? And, of course, Kelly's Jewish, so Ash knows this isn't Kelly because Kelly's Jewish, and he then replies, and Pablo goes into the shed and says, take me instead. He's a willing host, and that she'll get no fight over him. It lunges at him. Something seems to be crawling out of her throat, and there's this terrifying demon. It crawls completely out of Kelly and teleports over to Brujo to start its attack. It telekinetically flings over onto a log, impaling him. Ash has a thought from his acid trip: shoot first, think later, or don't think at all, shoot first, think never. He flings the shotgun up into the air, spins to cut the demon with his chainsaw. It teleports. He catches the shotgun when the demon reappears in front of him, taking a blast to the face, exploding ectoplasmic slime all over them, and Kelly wakes up and asks where she is, and Pablo sees his dead uncle. Really awesome scene there. I really love that, and it explodes, so that was awesome. So Kelly then wakes up, has no idea what's going on, obviously has no idea where the fuck she's been for the past, for the past 2 episodes. And Pablo sees his dead uncle. Brujo is dead. He has died. And the three then make this funeral for the Brujo, send him ablaze. And we get actually this really sweet moment with Pablo. It very much reminded me of what we saw with Kelly's parents. I like how they have genuine emotion in this show. Pablo says how you always tried to tell me how the world really is. I should have listened sooner. And you really see that Pablo has that regret, and everywhere they're going, people are dying. It's really interesting. Every time they go somewhere, their families die. And a pendant then falls out of the fire. Brujo said the pendant is for him, and Pablo is now going to be the next Brujo. So he hopefully is able to do more than Brujo did, because Brujo really contributed nothing if you think about it. So he walks straight from the pyre, and then all of the totem poles and such start lighting on fire too, and that was awesome when that happened. So Ash taking care of Kelly in the trailer. She doesn't really remember anything, which is a really good thing. They do tell her that she was better when she was possessed, and Pablo comes in, and Ash really actually has this great moment. He's telling them that he feels like he's caused all this, and that he's really sorry for it, and that he really feels like he should be the one to blame here. And Pablo tells him, look, we're not going to blame you. You had nothing to do with this. He apologizes to them. They give him the robot hand they were working on before. He attaches it, makes a fist, and basically he is obviously really happy about it. And I love his line where he's like, I'm going to shove this right up some Deadite's ass. I thought that was awesome. He raises his new middle finger because, of course, he does. And they drive away from the Brujo's place, heading back out on the open road. And that's how the episode ends. So really not too much to talk about in this episode. It was a really great episode overall. I like seeing Kelly possessed. What's going on with Ruby and Amanda? Obviously, we're getting really close to Ash, Kelly, and Pablo. And now Pablo apparently is going to be the Brujo. So how's this all going to turn out? That's something I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen with that. Because obviously, I don't really know if Pablo knows all the powers that the Brujo has, because the Brujo didn't really get to do anything. So obviously, what happens with that. I'm surprised they didn't kill off Kelly, but I'm happy they did as well. Is Pablo going to try to get closer with Kelly? I mean, clearly when she was possessed, she tried to get closer to him, and hopefully he doesn't fall for her, but I feel like he's going to, so let's see what happens with that. But let me know what you guys saw this episode. I really love this episode overall. Another really great one. I will see you guys in the next video, which will be for Jessica Jones, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, and by the way, guys, we are now halfway through the season, and so we only have 10 more episodes, 5 more episodes left, and we'll see you guys next week, which will be for Jessica Jones, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.